So Annie, how exciting. Here we are at the Bonnie Doon Champions Lounge.
I know.
With all the TrackMan facilities.
So great. It's horrible outside. It's windy and rainy. So what a perfect...
And we've got our coffee delivered to us. There's drinks there that you can get.
You can order lunch up here.
We'll give you a little look around later, but you can play many golf courses around the world. Bonnie Doon's are the only Australian course.
Yeah. But you can play the famous ones like St Andrews.
St Andrews, all the ones
Pebble
around
Beach.
Pebble Beach.
But you know what's great? You can practice how far does my half swing on a pitching wedge go?
Yeah.
It'll tell you straight away. I mean, that's so useful. Or even just, what is my 7-iron distance? And you could hit 10 and get an average.
So you can get your club gapping. The other thing for when I'm using Flight Scope, this is TrackMan, I basically look at the face to path, which is just over here, face to path, club path, maybe attack angle. There's just a few things you need to look at. Don't over-analyse.
Yeah.
But when we hit some balls, we're going to show you how to fade and draw, and you'll see the ball fading and drawing. We're only going to use a 7-iron, both of us.
Yeah, we thought we'd have a bit of a muck around, try and curve the ball a bit and tell you how to do that.
And I think it's important to realise when you're trying to curve the ball on purpose, it's much harder to do with a club that has more loft. So a 7-iron is harder to manoeuvre.
That's why your 9-iron goes straighter than your driver does, because it's got more loft on it.
It's got more loft in the length of the club. So,
you tend to be straighter, but you don't hit it as far.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to play around.
We've got a 7-iron, so we're not going to have a lot of movement on the ball, but hopefully we'll be able to show you in here the ball moving. So Dee, you want to go first? You're going to play a draw or a
I'll
fade?
play a draw. So what I'm going to do is I'll just have a couple of little practice swings creating the draw.
Let's hit one without telling us what you do, and then maybe people can try and guess what it is you're doing that's different.
They'll see it when it comes up.
I mean in your swing.
Okay, in my swing. Such a pure swing, it'll be hard to find. Okay.
So
what do you think it was?
A pull.
It was a pull. It wasn't a draw.
That's right.
It was a pull. And if you have a look, my face was 6.9. It was very closed, and my path was only a little bit to the left.
So what are you trying to do when you hit a draw, Dee? What in your swing? What would you normally try and do?
When I'm trying to draw it, not pull it, because that was I think a good thing to think about is your club face tells you what direction the ball's going to start with, and the path tells you the curve.
Yeah.
So I had the club face too close then. So what I do is I aim pretty well straight. I don't really close my club face. I keep it square. And the simple thing I do is I just move my right foot back.
And that's going to help the path come more into
So
out.
I then swing back normally on my backswing, but I follow
the feet.
So if I do it again, so I follow the feet on the downswing. So I feel my club face is square, and here I go.
I think that was a bit better, wasn't it?
I think it should have been a bit more...
Still a bit of a pull.
So why is it a pull? Where's the club face? Face to path was too closed. So that's why it started left.
Yeah.
So that's why you can actually... I'm trying to really hook this, and you can't hook a 7-iron that much, but that's why if I can hit a draw with my club face open. Let's see if I can. Club face open, hit a draw. Club face open, so it should be starting. Well, it started pretty well straight.
Let me have a go with the hitting a draw, Dee. See if I can.
Swing direction. So look how much my club path improved. It went 0.8. Face to path was not closed, but it was only slightly open. And
let me have a go.
It's much easier with a longer club.
I would close the club face a little bit to start with if I'm trying to hit a draw.
In theory, yours should start left then, shouldn't it?
It should do, unless I'm really coming in here.
Yeah.
Haven't had much of a warm-up, actually. Okay.
Is your club face closed? Doesn't look closed.
It is.
It is? It looked slightly... Yeah, it was slightly open, your club face.
At impact it was.
Yeah, at the impact it was... Yeah, that was good. Club path. Your club path was definitely into out.
This little thing here, this darker line, it says it curved.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that on the thing or not. We'll try and exaggerate it a bit. So what I'm trying to do is I'm closing my club face a little bit at address, and I'm closing off my feet a little bit so that I can swing in to out and get this sort of action.
So if it's really closed at impact, it should start to the left.
Unless you're really in here.
Yeah, very much in. Got to be careful there.
That just felt toey to me.
So that should make it hook though.
Yeah, that was ugly.
Yeah, but still, look, your face to path,
yeah.
Your face was 10 degrees closed. So I think sometimes if you're...
It's very difficult with the 7-iron, isn't it?
Yeah, I think sometimes you're better off just closing your stance. That looked better.
It was a better shot.
That looked better.
That's a better one.
That was it.
That's what we've been trying.
Yeah, it takes, and look at your numbers there. Your face was
Yes.
only 3 degrees closed. Your path was 6 into out. What
shows you that you're not going to get a lot of movement with a 7-iron either.
So do you think our viewers know into out means you're swinging in and out that way?
This angle here.
You're swinging on that angle.
That's right. So if we were to play a fade or a slice, which we can do now, it's the opposite, isn't it? We're going to try and get the path more this way,
which
with
most
the club
of us
face. Yes, this should be easier for most people.
I've got to say, a fade for me sometimes is quite difficult because of my biomechanics. So my natural shot is a draw according to my biomechanics.
Yes. So let's try and play a fade, which is going to be the opposite. So Dennise is going to open her stance, so aiming a little that way.
All I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my shoulders square, but I'm going to open. I'm going to bring my right foot a little bit more in front, so that I'm going to exit this way. That's all I'm going to do there. I'm actually not going to open my club face. I'm going to keep it pretty well square, but change it with my swing path. And my swing felt quite different. Gee, I don't like this machine.
It started left, it just didn't curve back. It tried a tiny bit.
Yeah,
look, there's a tiny bit of curve there.
It's really, my attack, oh, look at the path. That doesn't make sense. My path was 9.6 to... I must have been a bit
Do you have another one? Or?
Yeah, I'll have another one. Okay, fade. I'm going to open the club face this time.
We have to exaggerate because of the only using a 7-iron. If we were using like a fairway wood or hybrid or a long iron, it'd be easier.
So see that number, that 9.6, that's what should give me a fade. And that should have given me a fade. I must have hit it on the toe, so here we go. That felt like a fade swing. My follow through felt different.
Well, it is fading. It's just starting too far left. That's all.
Too far left.
So 13.
So I achieved what I wanted. So I go, great. That was, I swung across. If that would have been with my driver doing that,
you'd really come back a lot.
See that clubhouse? I'll be in that clubhouse.
Yeah, you'd go,
yeah.
I'll have a look go with the fade too.
Do you like fading?
Yeah, I do actually.
See, I don't like fading.
So I'm opening my club a little bit, opening my stance this way, so I'm trying to encourage this.
Yep,
so that
we're doing exactly the same thing, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, someone said to me once, which I thought was a really good piece of advice, visualise in your mind.
Absolutely.
See the shot. And that can sort of send a message to your body of what to do.
Do you know, before you hit that, that's a really interesting thing. I remember many years ago, I was interviewing Laura Davies in an Italian restaurant. You may have been there. And I said to Laura, you know, if you were to fade the ball, what do you do? Or you want to hook the ball? Well, she got up in the restaurant, like I would have said, I do this, all technical things.
Yeah.
She said, I just see it, so I see what I want. I see what I want. I see what I want. And I said, oh, so you're opening your stance, your club face.
She's just doing it without even knowing she's
doing it without knowing it.
You have to be at a reasonable level of golfer to be able to do that, though.
She was at her time the best player in the world, without a doubt.
Yeah, and where this information is really for the better golfer, isn't it? Because the average golfer is probably not going to want to try and move the ball.
But I think it's really handy for them if they can get this, that they go, wow, that faded. It went to the right, so maybe my club face was open and I swung too much that way.
Yeah.
So a little bit of knowledge.
Understanding. Exactly. Yep. All right, so I'm going to try and fade. Opening my stance, opening my club, cutting across, imagining that shape.
That looks like, did it feel like a fade swing?
Yeah, oh, there you go.
Fade, yeah.
Oh, that was better.
But you know, when we're saying, it started left, but that's because,
even 16, that's even more than...
That's great. But you know why though, Annie? It's because we're wanting it to finish on target.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we're doing, it is going to start left and then curve back around.
So when would you ever want to use this shot, Dee?
Oh, that's a good one. So for a more advanced player, I would want to use this shot if I've got very little green, because a cutting action gets more spin.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting to do it if there was trouble down
Trouble
the
on
right.
the right.
So I'm going to put it out to the left, let it fade back in.
Or maybe you're on the tree line on the right and you
Yep.
want to kind of come around it,
Yep.
so you've got an obstacle in
Yep.
the way.
Yeah, exactly. So you never, in golf, you never want to aim towards trouble and make it move away from the trouble. You want to hit away from the trouble, bringing it back to the target.
That's right,
which
because
is
that's safer.
exactly what you did here.
Yeah, and then if it
You
stays
started
straight,
here, you're here.
yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
To know what we're doing with the
Didn't like
technology.
what we do.
Okay, so does that sort of make sense for people with how to move the ball in the air if you need to in the future, if you want to move the ball left to right to left, that's how you do it?
And if you're a member at Bonnie Doon, or you know a member of Bonnie Doon, they can invite you over and you can use the TrackMan facility here with the member. But members of Bonnie Doon, start using it.
Or join Bonnie Doon?
Join Bonnie
It's
Doon.
worth it.
You've only got a probably 2-year waiting list, but
Okay. Maybe that won't always be the case. All right, see you next time. Bye.